Good day, my friends. Welcome to today's lesson. Today, I'm going to show you how to play a intermediate to even beginner bluegrass break on the tune Catfish John. So we're going to talk about how to think over tunes, how to improvise over a nice tune like this, and I'm going to show you the break, give you the tabs. So you can download the tabs in the description. Get your guitar in your hands, and let's get started. Catfish John, how does it go? What are the versions we're talking about here? I like the Nitty Gritty Dirt Band version. There's lots of great bluegrass bands that do this song. I've heard Vince Gill do it. Alison Krauss with the Nitty Gritty. So I'm going to show you a break that I pulled from the Alison Krauss and Nitty Gritty version. But I'm also just going to show you how to play the melody and play your own break. It's just a fun tune. So check it out. We got a key of D here. And the melody... show you here. I'm also going to show you how to learn harmonies in this video. Show you how I kind of lock down harmonies. Fun one to sing in 3-part harmony. So 3, 4. Mama said, don't go near that river. Don't be hanging around old Catfish John. Come the morning, I'd always be there, walking in his footsteps in the sweet Delta dawn. So that's the chorus. Here's the verse. Let me dream of another morning and the time so long ago where the sweet magnolias blossom, the cotton fields were white as snow. Mama said, don't go near that river. Don't be hanging around old Catfish John. Come the morning, I'd always be there, walking in his footsteps in the sweet Delta dawn. Okay, real pretty tune. Let's look at a break for this. So again, download the tabs there. I'll show you just the basic melody. We'll start with that. So number one, I'm listening to the vocals, and what I do is I put it in the Amazing Slowdowner, which is an app that I have on my computer and on my phone. I'll download the song, an MP3 of it, just get it off YouTube, download it, put it into the Amazing Slowdowner, and I will loop the first verse, and I'll listen, and I'll sing along. I'll go for a walk, really download the melody into my head, and I will try to listen for the nuances in the melody. Are they going up there? Are they staying on the same note there? Just little nuances on how they're actually singing the melody, and I'll get that in my head, and then I'll come and write it down like I have for you here. Now, when you are learning a melody, real important here, you learn to sing it. Alison Krauss, of course, sings it an octave higher. She sings it like, Mama said, don't go near that river. That's where she's singing it. So that's why I wrote it here. Now, one thing, when you're learning a melody, listen to what the very first note is. Play your chord, Ma, and find what that note is in regards to the chord. So if you play a D chord, you have a root, 5th, root, 3rd. Learn how to sing all those. Root, 5th, root, 3rd. Get good at note matching on your guitar with your voice. When you sing, Ma, Mama said, right, it goes up, but the very first note, Ma, you want to find that note in the chord. Where is that? Ma, right there. So that means that melody starts on the 3rd. The 3rd in the scale, right? D, do, re, mi. That's the 3rd. Mi, ma, do, re, mi. Mama said. So it goes 3, 4, 5. So find out the melody in regards to the chord and the scale, right? If you're playing in the key of D, you should know how to play do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Or from lower, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. You should know the scale of the tune you're learning, the key, but Mama said, don't go near that river. Okay, so learn that. Right? Don't be hanging around old Catfish John. Right? That's over the A. Come the morning, I'd always, and that's over the G. Always be there. Notice when it goes to the G, the melody goes to a G, or a note in the G chord. Always be there, be there. Walking in his footsteps in the sweet Delta dawn. Okay? I meant to have these pulled up this whole time, sorry. This is the melody here. Mama said don't go near that river. Don't be hanging around old Catfish John. D, come the morning, I'd always be there. Walking in his footsteps in the sweet Delta dawn. Okay, so just connect the melody to the chords. And then what I also did here, I won't show this to you right now, but what I did was in one tab, I wrote the melody. In the next tab, I wrote the harmony that is below the melody. So let me see if I can sing the melody and play the harmony. Mama said don't go near that river. Don't be hanging around old Catfish John. Come the morning, I'd always be there. Walking in his footsteps in the sweet Delta dawn. So I wrote the harmony here. And the reason why I did this is because my band is going to do this song, and I like to really understand what the harmonies are so that I can help anyone who's singing harmony find their notes. But that's a whole other ear training thing I'll talk about in another video. But I wrote the harmony there. If you have questions about that, put them in the comments. And then I also wrote the third harmony here. Mama said don't go near that river. See, I'm playing the harmony on the guitar and singing the melody. Mama said don't go near that river. Don't be hanging around old Catfish John. Come the morning, I'd always be there. Walking in his footsteps in the sweet Delta dawn. If you want help on how to learn harmonies, comment about that, but also I do one-on-one private lessons online. So if you're interested in that, my email is in the description. Please send me an email. I'd love to do some lessons with you. Okay, I'm going to show you the melody on the guitar. I get the song in my head, so the chorus is, so instead of playing it up here, Mama said, I'm going to play it here. Right, this is all D major scale. So it starts on the third. 1, 2, 3. Mama said, don't go near that river. Just learn the basic melody. Don't be hanging around old Catfish John. Come the morning, I'd always be there. Walking in his footsteps in the sweet Delta dawn. I didn't tab that out, but you can learn that without the tabs. Right? It's just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Those notes, that's all that's in it. Mama said don't go near that river. So rewind that and find that melody. And I'm going to show you how I guitarify it a little bit. 3, 4. Mama said don't go near that river. Don't be hanging around old Catfish John. Crosspick. Come the morning, I'd always be there. Walking footsteps in the sweet Delta dawn. Right? Now, when we go to the verse, we go to a G chord. Catfish John was a river hobo. So how would we play that? Right? Learn the melody first. Catfish John was a river hobo. And then fill it out. So, Catfish John was a river hobo. Notice how I did G run on the D chord. He lived and died by the river bend. Goes up that time. Looking back, I still remember. I was, and then the last part goes up. I was glad to be his friend. So I might go, I was glad to be his friend. So I go to the A chord and then hit the melody on that. I was glad to be his friend. Okay, so that whole thing. Catfish John was a river loco. Lived and died by the river bend. Looking back, I still remember. I was glad to be his friend. Now the reason why I do that kind of G run, I was glad to be his friend, because I don't like the sound of like one of those type of G runs. Glad to be his friend. To me, it's not that kind of song. It's a little bit more major sounding, so I'm not using any blues notes, because this is a sweet song to me. It has a sweet feeling to it, so I'm not trying to blew up that sweet feeling, if that's a phrase. You know, when you're playing over a tune, you want to go, what is the essence of this song, and how can I bring that out in my playing? If you want a sweet sound, don't use blues notes, right? So you have to pick and choose when to be bluesy. This, for me, is a moment to not be bluesy. Okay, so you get the idea there. So now I've got a verse and a chorus. When you play a break over this, you're probably not going to play over the chorus, but maybe you are. It's good to be able to do either, but probably you're going to play over a verse. So that's one way to do it with the low notes. You could do that same break higher up. Something like that. You could play that. And then the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the actual break that the guitar player played on the tune. I wrote it out here. You can download this in the description. But it's something like this. The important thing to note here is that this guitar break is only half of a verse. The other part of the break, fiddle comes in and finishes it off, which is, you know, kind of a classic bluegrass thing. Not that this is necessarily a bluegrass song, but it definitely can be and has that feel. So let me play you what that sounds like. And then the fiddle comes in right there. So that's an example of a break that is not necessarily playing the melody as straight as I was. Like I was just playing just the melody. You know, he did something like this. Right? That's pretty stylish, so that's why I wanted to learn that, because it's got a sweet sound to it. So he's doing, you know, a D run up into the first note. It's just D major scale right there. And then the first chord of the break is a G chord. Now, he does this thing. So that, you know, that's just cross-picking on a G chord. This is a G chord right here. It's the 5, the 3rd, and the 5 again. So there's no root in the chord, but it is a G chord, right? So we have that G chord and you're hammering on from the 2nd fret. Now when you play a D chord, play it like that. If you hammer this on, it is now a G chord, even if you're still doing D in the bass, okay? It's one way to think of it anyway. So this is like Angeline the Baker. goes to the G, D, right, something like that. But it uses this D and the G, so this is where we're starting here, is we play, and we land back on the D chord like that. So these two bars, and then right here, this is just a D chord, this shape, with crosspicking. So, and then for this little section here, we got, that took me a second to figure out how to pick that. Nice use of open notes. I think that's very pretty over a G chord. And then to finish it off, and then the fiddle comes in, da 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 da, right? So you should listen to the Nitty Gritty recording for exactly what I'm talking about here. That's what this is from. But that's the break that they did there. So I just wanted to show you that and show you a couple ideas of, you know, how to play over a Catfish John. Is a very major sounding song, so I don't really use any blue notes. And so you can explore, you know, you can pull up Strum Machine and explore just playing over the entire song and just seeing what kind of nice little pretty things you can come up with to play over it. And there was a little bit as well about how I would come up with harmonies for a song. I wrote down the melody in the tabs. I learned how to sing that well. For me, the guitar helps me with my singing. I don't have perfect pitch or anything like that, so because I know the guitar pretty well, it helps me to find harmonies, right? Because I can use chords to figure out the third and the fifth and so on like that. So I use the guitar a lot to figure out, are they singing the fifth or the third, or what exactly are they doing with that harmony? And then I'll write it down on the guitar, and then I'll practice singing along with the track, singing the harmony, the third, the fifth, and the melody. Or whatever the combination of the harmony is. I'll try to learn every harmony myself and be able to sing them all, so that if I ever came to a situation where I was singing that song with someone, I could jump on the harmony, I could sing the melody, I could sing the low part. That's good to be able to do with a song. You should know what the harmonies are. If you really want to be the best you can be, is you should know all the harmonies. So I do that with every song I learn all the harmonies. So there you go, Catfish John, a few ideas on that. If you like this video, please like, share, subscribe, comment. Would love to hear in the comments if you have any song suggestions or if you have any questions. Please drop that below. And with that, I will see you guys in the next video.